Programming is built on a few basic concepts that, if you master, will accelerate your coding journey. Today I'm going to explain each of them in turn in the simplest way possible. First and most basic are variables. Variables are just stores of values that might change. For example, a score variable might be used to keep track of a player's score in a game. We might have to increment the score at points throughout the game, and then we can change the value stored in this variable, maybe by adding 1 to the score. Before we go on, real quick, I'm releasing my first ever Steam game this year, and it would mean so much to me if you wishlisted the game on Steam with the link in the description. Next, we have selection. Selection is essentially saying if a condition is true, do something. So if a bullet has hit an enemy, increment the player's score. The next most basic concept is iteration. There are two types of iteration in programming, for loops and while loops. A for loop will just go through data, so for enemy in list of enemies, if a bullet has hit the enemy, increment the player's score. A while loop will just execute the code inside it until a condition is false. So while player health greater than 0, do all the code you've just been through. Finally, we have functions, which save programmers from having to rewrite code. The code within a function will run whenever it's called. They can take arguments and return values. For example, we might have a function that adds two numbers. Our function would take two arguments, say a and b, and return the result of a plus b. When we return a value to a function, the value we're returning is essentially stored inside the function. So we can put that function in a variable or output it. Say x equals add 1, 3, output x. This would output 4 because a and b are 1 and 3, and we're returning a plus b, which is 4. The value of 4 is then stored in x, and we can output that value. We could also call add again and again with different values.